Since the Galaxy Tab S5e was unveiled in 2019, alongside the Galaxy S10 series of phones, a lot of time has gone by. We are now in the Galaxy S20 series, and the true successor to the Tab S4, the Tab S6, has been on the shelves right next to it since July of last year. The Tab S5e wasn't even meant to be a top-end tablet when it launched, but that doesn't mean it isn't great for watching movies and videos, as well as web browsing and other daily tasks. So you might be wondering, is the Tab S5e still worth buying in 2020? We will start off by reviewing the bottom side of the device, and first things first is two of the four speakers on this device, as well as the Type-C connector, which is USB 3.1 for those super fast file transfer speeds, as well as support for fast charging. It's great to see USB-C on a tablet that isn't of the absolute highest tier, so props to Samsung for that one. On the left side of the device, we have these four pogo pins along with two small indents, all of which are meant for Samsung's optional dock accessory that allows you to use it almost like a Google Nest Hub, while also charging it at the same time. Moving over to the right side of the device, we find a micro SD card slot, which is another great thing to see, even though the two storage options of 64 and 128 gigabytes will be more than enough for most people. One thing to keep in mind though is that the 64 gigabyte version only comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM, whereas the 128 gigabyte version comes with 6 gigabytes of RAM. Another great feature of this device, also found on the side, is the fingerprint sensor that is built into the power button. It's super quick and convenient since it logs you in pretty much the instant you wake up the device. Lastly, on top we find the remaining two speakers of that amazing quad speaker arrangement with a microphone in between them. On the front of the device, tucked into those nice slim bezels, we have a camera capable of taking 8 megapixel still images. And on the rear, we have a full 13 megapixel camera with an aperture of f2.0, which makes for a fairly decent camera, but by no means outstanding. Near the bottom of the back side, we find the AKG logo, taking credit for those amazing speakers that also support Dolby Atmos. And in the middle of the device, you have a slightly recessed Samsung logo with a very nice looking mirror finish that gives it even more of a premium look. One thing this device does not have, unfortunately, is a headphone jack, but their reasoning behind it is completely valid. If you take a look here, you can actually see that the entire thickness of the tablet is about the same as the male connector, so there was really no way for them to fit it in without compromising the thinness of the device. One of my favorite accessories for the device is actually the official book cover because of the super clean look it adds to the tablet while also giving you some crucial functionality. It allows you to angle the device to watch videos hands-free, or to type a document while also protecting the screen, and at the same time adding almost no thickness to the device. It magnetically attaches to the back, so there's no need for clips or anything of the sort on the sides, and the front flap holds itself shut with magnets as well. The only downside is that it's not cheap. Starting at $70 for the version that I have without the keyboard, it seems like a lot for what is essentially just a bendable sheet of plastic. When you flip the front flap around to a kickstand formation, there's unfortunately only one position that it attaches to, so it isn't adjustable. It is, however, sturdy enough to be used either vertically or flipped around, so you get the choice of a fairly high angle or a pretty low one. I also find it easier to open the front flap by pushing it inward from the right side, then lifting. Otherwise, if you just dig your finger under it, then the edges might start to wear out since the magnets are fairly strong. Now that display. The 10.5-inch 2560 by 1600 Super AMOLED display has a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, perfect blacks, and colors that just pop. Every time I look at the screen, I'm amazed at how nice it looks, especially for its size, since not much else in this category even has an OLED screen, especially for this price. One tiny complaint I could have about this display, however, is that sometimes when you scroll up or down, it has this jelly-like effect where one side of the screen lags behind the other, but I've only noticed it while in portrait orientation and not in landscape. If you're buying this tablet for media consumption, then you are more than likely to play a few games, and the Tab S5e can handle most games without a problem, but there is a catch. Unlike the Tab S4 and the newer Tab S6, the S5e doesn't ship with an 800 series Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. It gets stuck with a slightly lower end Snapdragon 670, which is by no means bad, but it is slower than the 835 that is in the older S4. The Adreno 615 GPU is built on the 10nm process, so it's going to be very power efficient, but you might have to turn down the settings on more intensive titles like Fortnite or PUBG to get steady frame rates. Today I'm trying out Asphalt 9, and loading in I can immediately notice that the models are not being rendered at the display's native resolution, since there is some pixelation, mostly around the edges of the car. Nevertheless, the game still runs great and I didn't notice any hiccups while playing through. In my opinion, the great display colors and the amazing speakers more than make up for the slower processor, and they actually took my mind off the fact that I could tell it was running at a lower resolution. So, back to the question. Is the Galaxy Tab S5e still worth it in 2020? In my opinion, that is 100% a yes, especially if you can find a good deal for one. As long as you aren't concerned about having a stylus for writing or having the highest end processor for gaming at the highest possible details and frame rates, it provides an amazing user experience that goes without mentioning any of the other features like Samsung Dex, which actually allows you to hook up a mouse and keyboard to the tablet and use it like a laptop. You can even plug it into a display if you wanted a dual screen setup, but that's beyond the point. If you're looking for a tablet that you can get some work done as well as enjoy using on your downtime, this is a great option that will last you well over a few years. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I am new to YouTube, so it would be much appreciated if you could like, comment, and subscribe, and if you'd like to see me keep making videos, let me know in the comments if there's something that I did that you liked, or if there's something that you think I should change.